Happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you guys have an amazing week. Good morning, Tori. Hello to all of you who are watching this on the replay. Good morning, Kim. And if you're joining me for the very first time, welcome. I'm Shantae Williams, Ministry Leader at Greater Working Women Ministries and also owner of Relentless Publishing House. So as we are going through our journey through the book of Mark, you guys, we are now in Mark chapter 5. And for our Grace for It Friday, we're going to talk about very briefly break every chain. So in Mark 5, the verse 20 verses talks about a demon-possessed man who made his home inside of the tombs. They tried to shackle him. They tried to bind him. They tried to chain him up, and he always broke loose. And he spent his time crying in the night and scratching himself. And so when Jesus came on the scene, because the man was filled with an unclean spirit, the man ran to him, and then the unclean spirit started talking. And he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of him. And then he asked the unclean spirit, "What is your name?" And the unclean spirit said, "Our name is Legion, for we are many." And because the unclean spirit knew who Jesus was, he did not want Jesus to send them back to the abyss, right? Where they're supposed to be. And so they saw some herds and they asked him to send them into the herds. And Jesus gave them permission. And y'all know the story. They went into the herds, it's about 2,000 of them. And then the herds went off the cliff and died anyway. And here's the whole point that I want us to realize. Sometimes in life, things that we go through may seem that we are bound by them, that we are chained, that we are shackled, and we're trying to continuously break free and break free and break free. And sometimes we find ourselves in the same cycle of self-destruction. We find ourselves making the same decisions, even when we try our very best to break out of that mindset, to break out of those bad habits, to break out of that thing that we know is not good for us. And we feel like, am I ever going to get out of this prison? Am I ever going to break free? Am I ever going to be able to get away from this and never have to deal with it again? Has anybody ever felt like that before? Am I the only one? I know I have. But I just want to remind you, beloved, that the God we serve can break every chain in our life. The God we serve can break the shackles free. The God we serve sets us free. The scripture tells us whom the Son is set free is free indeed. Now we have to be able to live like we're free. Sometimes we don't believe that we are free and that we can be free. And there's safety. Come on, somebody. There's safety in being bound. There's familiarity in being bound. I know what this is going to be like. I know the cycle. I know how it feels. I know how long it's going to last. This is very predictable. But the moment I set free, what does that feel like? What's really going to happen to me? So, beloved, I want to tell you that God didn't allow his son to die for us to stay shackled, for us to stay in bondage, for us to be in prison, for the enemy to torment us. He didn't die for all of that. He died so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. Do y'all hear me? An abundant life is not being shackled and chained. An abundant life is not living in a place of self-torment. Y'all, listen, we all made mistakes. We've all done things we're not proud of. But our past is not supposed to keep us imprisoned. Our past is not supposed to suppress the greatness in us. Just because I messed up 3 months ago don't mean God can't use me today. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Just because somebody won't let you live down something you did 10 years ago does not mean that God has not positioned you to be great today. Don't allow the things in your past to imprison you. Don't allow people to imprison you. Don't allow the thoughts in your mind to imprison you. Don't allow the words, right, that are either spoken over you or maybe you have spoken over yourself to imprison you. Okay? God has broken every chain in our life, y'all. If you stay in bondage, it's because you want to, not because you have to. I don't care what the enemy says. It will never be a luxurious life, a life of peace, happiness, joy, if we are still in bondage. Y'all, you can break free anytime you want to. You have to really want to. And that's a mindset shift. That's something you have to work on the inner me, right? The inner me has to tell you, we tired. We ready for more. There's got to be more to life than this right here. And let me tell you, there is so much more. I don't care how bad of a life you have ever lived. I don't care how many mistakes you have made. I don't care how many people you have wronged. God still has greatness on the inside of you that is bursting, that wants to come out. So while you may think that you can never do anything great because of your mistakes, I'm here to tell you that is a lie from the pits of hell. And do not buy into it. Good morning, Hetty. Do not buy into it. He who began a good work in you shall complete it until the day of Christ. The good work had already begun. Now we got to position ourselves so that it can be completed. Do not choose to stay bound a second longer because you made a bad decision, because you made a mistake, because somebody thinks less of you. Do not stay in prison by that. Still choose to be great anyway, because guess what? You already are. You already are. So are you going to believe that greatness is in you, y'all? Listen, and I know sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's hard to see ourselves past things that we've done that we're not proud of. Sometimes we have to look at those things on a regular basis and it becomes a hindrance, a distraction, a stumbling block. But you use it as a stepping stone. That's all. Use it as a stepping stone. And it's one day at a time. It's not an overnight transformation. It's one day at a time. So you don't have to stay in prison a day longer. God has already set you free. Whom the Son has set free is free indeed. And that is you. So if you are truly ready for God to break every chain in your life, I want to encourage you to say that prayer. Say, God, I want you to break every chain that is in my life. I know that I not have done things that have always been right by you and by others. But Father, I want to get enough with you. Forgive me of all of my sins and help me to walk in the greatness that you have already planned for my life. Because I'm already free, because your Son has set me free. Just say that. One day at a time. Okay, y'all? So remember, the chains in your life have already been broken. Nothing can hold you down. Nothing can hold you back. Nothing can hinder you. You are already free. Can y'all just put that in the comments? I'm free. There's no more chains holding me. I'm free. I'm free. All right, y'all? I'm free. So that's our Grace for It Friday, y'all. I hope you guys have been enjoying our journey through the book of Mark. I have. I absolutely love the book of Mark. That's right, Tori. I am free. I am free. You live like you're free. You talk like you're free. You move like you're free. You think like you're free. You love like you're free. Don't even allow what people have done to you to imprison you. You are free. All right, you guys. Have an amazing weekend. And remember to walk in your freedom. Remind somebody today, you don't have to stay stuck, girl. You free. Hey, man, you ain't got to dwell on that. You free. The enemy wants to trick you into thinking that you are not. But guess what? You are already free. The chains have already been broken, y'all. The cross wasn't for nothing. You are already free. All right, you all. Have an amazing weekend. Remind somebody today that they are free. Remember, whatever God allows to come your way, He's already graced you to handle it so that you can have a greater working day on purpose, y'all. I love y'all so much. And Lord willing, I will see y'all on Monday.